What's up, everybody? Derek Anderson, the DA, and here we go. Another prediction for the box office this week. This time it's for Minions, the Rise of Gru, which is dropping this week. And yeah, I'm gonna be a little bit more careful than I was on that last prediction, because yeah, if you didn't remember, the last time I did a box office prediction, yeah, it didn't go too well because I'm trying to predict Lightyear, and I didn't do my research. I'll be honest. I didn't know that, Chris Evans was making comments. I didn't really look that deeply into how much people cared about the whole Chris Evans, Tim Allen switcheroo. I didn't pay attention to, hey, there's a same-sex kiss in a family film, and that's going to be in this particular film. I didn't know anything about that. So yeah, so now this time I kind of crawled through the internet. Did Steve Carell say something stupid? I'm just looking for all the information I could possibly find. Looks like the folks at Illumination played it safe and said, hey, we're just gonna stay out of all kinds of controversy and just let families go out and watch a movie. So let's go ahead and check this out. By the way, folks, if you haven't done so already and you already know what I'm gonna ask, go ahead and give me a like and a subscribe. I really appreciate that. Let's go on with the show. Minions, this is of course Box Office Pro, where all the movie fans go, and we're talking about the Minions long range forecast for the Rise of Gru. So we'll go straight to the pros and the cons. The first one is that the Despicable Me franchise remains a strong brand among families after 4 hugely successful films dating back to 2010. Marketing for this follow-up began before the pandemic, so its awareness is pretty high over these past 2 years. Yeah, the Despicable Me and Minions, those films are the kind of the cornerstone of the Illumination company, the folks that make these films, and they've done wonders with it. All of those films have made a ton of money. The original Minions is the largest moneymaker in Illumination's history, I think at 1.1 billion. Will this film hit $1 billion? We'll check that out and see. It also says the previous Minion spinoff was a blockbuster in its own right. There it is, talking about a $117 million opening weekend and then 336 million domestic going back into the summer of 2015. Steve Carell, of course, is the voice of Gru. It should help bolster the attempt to bring back fans of the Despicable series. His absence was somewhat felt in the Minion spinoff, which was more front-loaded than it is typical for the series and many animated films. He wasn't in the last one. I didn't really see that film. Kind of caught glimpses of it here and there, but I haven't watched it all the way through. But nevertheless, it was very, very successful, even without Steve Carell. So I'm pretty sure that Steve Carell coming back and playing Gru once again. Gru is the kind of the centerpiece of the whole thing along with the Minions. So I think him coming back and showing this origin story of Gru and the Minions, I think that that's going to be a huge plus, and I know a lot of kids are probably excited to see that. Of course, it's opening on 4th of July weekend, so that only can help it. Big movies usually drop on 4th of July weekend. So you got the 1st on Friday, and then you go all the way through Monday, which is the 4th, and I'm pretty sure people are going to run out to the theaters to check this out. And then it says here there's a pent-up demand for comedic family animation. Yeah, especially since that last film that just came out a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, families wasn't really feeling that one whatsoever. So they're really trying to get out there and say, hey, what can we take our kids to see? We want to take our little young kids to see something that we feel is wholesome and family friendly. Yeah, let's go watch this supervillain, his origin story. All right, so let's get to the cons. The franchise is in their 5th installments, experience diminishing returns more often than not. Very, very true. You got to remember, like, if you enjoyed the Minions, if you enjoyed Despicable Me, the original Despicable Me came out in 2010. Okay, so here we are 12 years later. Do people still want to watch this particular franchise? Are people still eager to get out and check out the Minions? The Minions are hilarious. I like them. But are people really coming out to see it like that? That remains to be seen. Despicable Me already showcased that emerging trend, $264 million in 2016, and I was down from Minions in 2015 and down from Despicable Me 2 in 2013. It does a lot of numbers overseas, and I think the Minions are super duper popular in other countries. So it'll be interesting to see how this thing does in other markets. And then of course the second one, it says here, opening 2 weeks after Pixar's Lightyear will create some natural audience crossover for families. Now Again, we've discussed this. Pixar kind of shot themselves in the foot with the whole same-sex kiss, and then of course with the comments being made by their star Chris Evans. And I don't think that Lightyear is going to be much of a problem. This is of course written like a couple of weeks ago, so I don't think Lightyear is going to be much of a problem for Minions. But let's go ahead and check out what the buzz is. What's the reviews like? We got some early reviews coming in. Let's go ahead and check those out. All right, so here we go. Rotten Tomatoes, and 67% on the tomato meter, but only 21 reviews so far. I like this runtime. I like this nice, clean runtime. Hour and 27 minutes. That means that this is going to get multiple viewings in cineplexes all over the country, so that should definitely help out the box office. Got to keep these films small, lean, and tight. You don't want to have something running 90 plus minutes, you know. Right up under 90 minutes, perfect. So yeah, let's check out the reviews. 21 reviews. Let's see what the folks have to say. All right, so here we go. Packing their shtick into a speedy 87 minutes, returning director Kyle Balda delivers a perfectly painless romp that should enthrall kids, entertain adults, and keep Minion cosplayers employed for many birthday parties to come. Yeah, 87 minutes, right? Nice and lean. Get in, get out. Don't waste your time. Don't overstay your welcome. Smart move on that, and this guy agrees. It says here from Flickering Myth, a bit all over the place and too routine. Do something different. Give me the Jean-Claude origin story. I don't know if people are really looking for that. Let's see. Rather perfunctory sequel, which will probably entertain its younger audience members and test its older audience patience. I mean, that's kind of what kid films have always been. You know, the older audiences are going to really dig in and enjoy this. Are they going to make them a kid again? Or are they going to be like, all right, man, let's hurry up? You know, that's kind of what kid films have always done. Let's see. Yeah, the need to create a prequel to Despicable Me does a disservice to a potentially amusing Minion sequel in this visually dazzling and kid-friendly animated comedy. Okay, so again, think about what parents are thinking. Parents are like, hey, kid-friendly. Got it. That's all I needed to know. My kids been bugging me to come and check this thing out. Is it kid friendly? They probably are going to be very, very wary since Lightyear came out, and there's some things in there that they felt or they could have felt weren't exactly kid friendly. So parents are going to be very, very wary, and if they hear things like kid friendly, people are going to be good to go. The monotonous approach to the character shtick feels as if this has all been done before, which it has in the previous 4 outings. Well, you know, that's the thing. You know, you're going to get to your 5th film in this franchise, and people are going to say, yeah, this is old hat, been there, done that. We've already seen this joke run itself out. But if you are a fan of it and you enjoy it, hey, there it is. It should be fun. The soundtrack resounds with hits from the 1970s, the decade in which the story is set, so it's set in the 70s. That should be fun. But the action is loud and so relentless that Minions' quieter charms are left in the shade. It's got some mixed opinions on this. Temporarily entertaining, entirely disposable outing that kids will lap up in spades before most likely forgetting much of its existence. And I guarantee you that kids are going to go out and enjoy this film. This is not a film for adults. I've never thought that, you know, even with Despicable Me, some of those jokes, it's written to make kids giggle and laugh while they feed their face with popcorn. That's pretty much it. Like the Minions, this installment is barely distinguishable from any others, but it's easy to be won over by its nutty joy and enthusiasm. This guy says, an unexpected treat, and by far the most punchiest and most polished. Wow, most polished entry yet. Okay. So yeah, you got, you know, some, like I said, mostly, you know, kind of down the middle. 67% should be, audience should know what to expect. Illumination delivers, offering another feel-good dose of bad behavior. There it is. Yeah, so let's go ahead and jump over to the predictions, and we'll see what I think this film is going to do. All right, folks, so here we go to make it or break it numbers for Minions, The Rise of Gru. As you can see, a nice, slim $85 million budget. That means it only has a $213 million break-even number. Very, very easy for it to accomplish. I don't think it's going to have any trouble making its money back. It didn't blow it up and get to a $200 million budget like another film that we saw the last time I did a review. So, yeah, I think this will be no problem whatsoever. The only thing really standing in Minions' way for right now it's going to be Thor: Love and Thunder. I know like Super Pets, DC Super Pets is like way off in the distance, but yeah, you can tell like Thor: Love and Thunder, it'll get some eyeballs, but it's really not standing in the way. I mean, you know, you can tell from that film it's not really going to be something that families are just going to be flocking to. You know, there's a lot of risque kind of material that they're going to be showing in there, you know. So I think for the most part, this is kind of in a land all its own. If Lightyear had been the family film that folks expected it to be, then I think Lightyear would have been some better competition for this film. But as it stands right now, yeah, Thor: Love and Thunder will give it a little bit of a hiccup. But as far as family fare, yeah, this thing is pretty much going to have a nice, good month run until it gets to DC's Super Pets. So yeah, that's that. And then here's my numbers. Here's what I think it's going to do. All right, and the comparison film this time was the last film in this franchise, which is Despicable Me 3. So you can see Despicable Me 3 did $29 million on Friday night, had an opening weekend of $72 million, a domestic total of $264, and then finally a worldwide total of $1.03 billion. I don't know if Minions is going to get that. I have a feeling that it's not. So you can see my numbers there. A strong Friday night. I think it's going to do very well in a strong Friday night, a strong opening weekend, and even a strong domestic total. But the worldwide, I have it a couple of shades down. And the reason is, if you go and you check a lot of the countries where this film is opening up, it's actually going to be opening up on streaming or some sort of an internet service. So I'm not sure how that's going to play into a box office, but nevertheless, a lot of countries, you know, still closed down, maybe because of the pandemic or whatever. They're not going to be able to see this movie anywhere else except the internet. So maybe they've put it on some sort of a streaming service. Maybe it's going to be on Peacock or something like that. But that's only like really like 10, maybe 12 countries. Most countries are going to open up this film on July 1st, just like we are in the States. And so, yeah, I have a feeling that the domestic is going to do a little bit better than Despicable Me 3. But then the worldwide total is going to be a little bit down just because it's not opening everywhere equally. But nevertheless, folks, hey, go ahead and tell me where you think this thing is going to fall. Do you think it's going to do $1 billion? Yeah, I mean, only one other film has done $1 billion so far this year, and that was Top Gun: Maverick. So do you think that this film has a chance? I think it has a strong chance of getting close, but I don't think it will cross that threshold. But nevertheless, folks, give me your thoughts and your opinions on that. All right, and I want to thank you for watching. See you next time.